passion, our heritage, and today, if we are here, is even thanks to Formula One, because now we have me and Jarno, we share this fantastic estate. The name is Castorani because this was an historical estate dated 1793. And back in 1999, this estate was on sale. And me and Jarno, with the first money coming from Formula One, we decided to escape buying airplane, boats, but we bought this fantastic estate. It's a shame that in Italy is night, so I cannot show you, but we are in a very, very nice environment between mountains, Adriatic Sea, and we decide to follow passions that we had because our families had their roots in the wine. In fact, my family was one of the first family that from Abruzzo moved to Molise and decided to, let's say, export the tradition of grape cultivation. And for this reason, I born in vineyards. And I was asking always my father why at the end of the year he was selling always the grapes and we never were trying to produce wine. But my father was not an ambitious entrepreneur and always said to me, Lucio, is double of the work for the same money, so let's produce grapes. And maybe thanks to this attitude of my father, I decided to cultivate my passion for motorsport. Jarno, from his side, was doing, when was children, wine with his grandfather, Gaetano. And so even for him was a big passion to have and produce wine. And so, as I told you, in '99 we decided to bought this estate, and since '99 a lot of work we have done. We start from white paper, and now we have 100 hectares of vineyards. The estate is bigger than 100 hectares. And we have 5,000 meters, that is a 50,000 square feet winery, completely underground. We have a wine resort with 9 rooms and every day busy for our project since the last 22 years.
Amazing. Congratulations. It's really just a beautiful estate. And if you could give us, we have the overhead picture here. Give us a description of the different buildings here. So you have the building on the far left, and then the middle, and then the right.
So on the left, you see our historical villa. Yeah, that is Villa Castorani, because this villa was Castorani was a doctor that in Paris invented the surgery of the high cataract, and he retired in this estate, and the property went through the family since 1970s, when the last let's say family component died. And after, the property was splitted in a few parts, And since 1999, piece by piece, now we were able to put everything together again. And let's say the story is continuing, and we have been just authorized by the Beauty Heart to renovate this fantastic villa. And in let's say couple of years, we will have extra 8 rooms from this villa that will bring our potential one resort to 16 rooms.
Wow, it's amazing. It's a beautiful estate. So yeah, it's a shame that you couldn't use it until now. So it's great you have that approval. So tell us about the center building. That's the winery, I believe, right?
The center building, yes, is where we have our restaurant. We have the 8 rooms, and on the left is the main office where I'm talking to you.
And then underneath it, can you tell us a bit about the cellar? Because I know all of the wine production facilities are underground, which is amazing.
Yeah, so from this side between the 2 buildings, you have the possibility, even with the trucks, to go underground 12 meters. And there is the possibility to enter our winery that is 50,000 square feet.
It's a beautiful facility. I'll just show a few pictures here of some of the cellars. But I know also we could just talk about it since we're talking about the winery now, that something interesting, at least to me, is the production, that you choose to do everything in concrete. Can you tell us a bit about that? And I know it's a tradition, but you don't see many people doing it, I feel like.
Well, this was today is something that I don't want to say is easy, but let's say few people are producing wine from concrete, totally from concrete, and so you could choose even easily what we did 22 years ago, when really in Italy nobody was I don't want to say nobody, because there is always
right, a few, but not many people.
No other winery was doing everything in concrete.
Right.
And we did this choice, and thanks God, because after 20 years we are really, really happy, because concrete marriage very, very well Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, and makes it much more elegant. And that this is, I think, one of our much more important characteristic of our wines. So the elegance, and we really keep acidity in good shape, and this give our wine the possibility to go longer in time. In fact, our first wine, that is Podere Castorani 2000, sometime every, let's say, 5-6 months we take a bottle, and is still again a baby. So we are really, really proud of it.
That's amazing. After 20 years, because people don't really think of Montepulciano as
Exactly.
being age-worthy. At least Americans. They just think of it as a fantastic table wine, great with food pairings. But it's good to hear that, you know, your wines, even the first vintage, 20 years, are still amazing.
Well, it's very important when you have the concept of the wine, that you need to decide what you want to do. And in Abruzzo, because our denomination is so big, is the bigger in Italy, because the denomination that takes all one region. And in fact, the landscape, the portions of Abruzzo, they are completely different from one side to another of the four provinces we have. And maybe in this regard, later I will tell you something. So you can have different wine, different approach to vinifications. And this is why, so look this landscape. We are in a hill 350 above the sea level between two majestic mountains, the Majella that is in this picture, that is in south, and the Gran Sasso that is in north. And believe you that Gran Sasso has very small, but has a portion of an icer, and is the southest icer in the north hemisphere of the globe. So can you believe we are in the middle? So Abruzzo is not very well discovered by people because in terms of tourism, we are not so really strong. And we are close to Rome, that when you arrive in this part of Italy, come on, you have Rome. There is no other city in the world that can be compared to Rome. So all the tourists go in Rome. But talking from the gladiators and talking about the wine the Romans were drinking since 2000 years ago, all these things were coming from Abruzzo. And if you are Italian, of course, you know our region, but outside from Italy is not very well known. But I can guarantee you we have a fantastic region.
So on that note, let's speak just for a few moments. And at the end, I want you to play, I think you have it with you. You have a fantastic video showing the estate and the property and the cellar. So we can, let's speak a bit about a few of the wines specifically. And then I want to, if you could try to show that video, because it really just shows the estate so well. It's
so
really a well done video. But if we could start, if
yes,
you don't mind, Lucio, let's speak about the Cadetto first, because that's, I think, what people are most familiar with. This is obviously one of our most popular wines in our whole portfolio. So if you could just tell us a bit about Cadetto, and then I want to speak about the Reserva after.
So Cadetto, it's really a unique wine, because going back what I was saying about our concrete vinification, Cadetto is a really unique wine because it's vinificated and aged only in concrete. So when I talk you about what we are doing with concrete, if you want to learn, buy a bottle of Cadetto. And I think this is one of the few wines that are made totally in concrete, and exactly in these vats. And we aged for almost 3 years. And this time give to our wine, Montepulciano, but as well, it's very important, our terroir, the possibility to be really elegant and really soft, that, but with a strong character that make it really very special wine. In my point of view, we are doing a big mistake with this wine because the price is really low.
Okay, we're going to stop the conversation here, Lucio. No.
yeah. But
I agree. It's amazing
like
for the price.
Yeah, concrete.
It is amazing for the price. So I want to switch gears just a bit, stay on Cadetto, but let's speak about the rosé, the Ceresuolo. I feel like Ceresuolo is an appellation that people aren't as familiar with. So give us just a few words about what it means to be a Ceresuolo wine.
Well, first of all, this is a wine that comes from red grapes, and even in this case, Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. And in our philosophy, we love the Cerasuolo wine with a very, very light color. Because in our mind, Cerasuolo, rose wine is a wine for summer. In many countries, there is the wine of the terrace, is the wine of the swimming pool, and so that's why pale color make it much more elegant and enjoyable. And this gentle color we call onion skin. It's just very, very light rose color. It's very, it's a real wine. It's not a wine that you believe is a rosé. No, no, no. This can help you with many dishes as well, like chicken. But really cold in summer, I love it with raw fish, and sometime in winter, I like it with pizza as well.
Yeah, we just had a question come across. What's the alcohol content on the Cerasuolo? Do you know off the top of your head?
Depends from the vintage, but example, the 2021 will be 13,
Okay, perfect.
a real wine.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, perfect for the summer, but very good with food as well. It has enough of that structure that it's great as a food pairing. I
Yeah.
want to switch gears to the Reserva, which is I know Trebbiano and very popular with a lot of our restaurants. Tell us a bit about how this wine is produced. I know 100% Montepulciano, but a few more of the details.
So this wine is, can you believe or not, our first wine. This is what we did first. So we start with an important wine. Since the beginning, we said, let's try to understand and to see what we are able to do. We were starting from a fantastic vineyard, because what is important to tell you that when we bought this company, the vineyard was already there. And this was the reason why we bought this company, this estate. And Podere Castorani Riserva is from a single vineyard of 17 hectares that nowadays is 50 years old. And with a very, very low production, we produce 90 tons of grapes. And with this very low production, we start with a vinification very long of roughly 60 days in concrete. After we do 1 year aging in concrete, to go later 12 months in wood, and we use only 500 liters tonneau. Yeah, this is our room, and this is one of the different corridors we have in our barrel room. And after 12 months, because we use 3 different type of wood, 70% oak from France, 20% from USA, and 10% from Russia. Every wood gives a different results, and this is a reason why after the 12 months of aging the wine in tonneau, we go back to mix all together. Yeah, that's the complete room we have. To mix all together the 3 results for 1 year again in concrete. Wow. And after that, all the production is bottled. we do at least 1 year aging in the winery, and after the product is ready to sell.
Wow, so that's maybe what, 3 or 4 years until it's released?
Yes. Let's say that all the process it's more than 4.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
really
now
amazing.
we are starting to sell the 17.
And again, for a
Yeah.
wine at that price point, with that quality and that
Yeah.
amount of care, and you had to pay everyone 4 years ago, and now
Yeah.
you're finally coming to market with it, it's impressive. Not many people make wine like that anymore. It's expensive.
I tell you a story. I start because I was in charge even to start to sell the wine. Now I have many people helping us, me and Jarno. I cannot say that we are alone. We have nice people helping us on the commercial side. We have Angelo, that is a winemaker and agronomist that working only for Castorani. And we have many other people. I don't want to start to say this is Angelo, to say names because I will forget somebody and is not correct. But Castorani, like a Formula One, is a team. And because we are Italian, like Italy, masterpiece, we are a family. And so, since the beginning, when I start to sell wine and introduce this wine, this reserve around the world, for me it was very difficult to let people understand that was really a fantastic wine. And since one day I was in Montreal, I was walking to meet a friend that he was involved in the business, and he was introducing me an importer. That in the end I decided, walking in the road, I saw a very famous Italian wine. And in the end, I decided to pay $200 to got a bottle. And when I went to the introduction, I said, listen, guy, this is the very important Italian wine that you know. This is our Podere Castorani Riserva. Please, let's open, let's try to figure out how is our wine. And this was a very good investment, because straight away I sold 3 pallets of wine of Podere Castorani Riserva.
Wow, amazing! It was a good gamble. It was a difficult gamble, but it worked out. That's amazing.
Yeah, but you know, we come from motorsport. David, in motorsport, you have hard life. Every day, not once every year. Every day, you have shit that say that you are first or you are last. Right. So for us, competition is in the blood. So I can win, I can lose, but anyway, I did a very hard fight. And in the end, we trust a lot in the work. We work hard every day for every thing we do in life.
It's definitely paid off, and risky decisions, like you said, you have you and Jarno have the ability to pull it off somehow. We had a question come across. Please. What's the comparison between the Castorani Riserva 2016 versus 2017?
Well, what is important to know that these 17 hectares we have in our estate, that is a single vineyard, is top of a hill, and gives to Angelo the possibility to choose exactly every year the best exposure. Because, example, if it was a dry season as it was last year in 21, Angelo, for the Riserva, for the best wine, he chose the north exposure. In the opposite, for many other season, example 2014, that for many people were a disaster. But for us, choosing all the south exposure, This was a big compensation. So that's why Podere Castorani is always on his age, on his let's say I lose the word in his.
You have options. You have a selection.
Yeah, well, he's in his characteristic. Well, the word come back, and is always important in acidity, and in the end, what makes the biggest part of the job is the vineyard. What is amazing when we harvest this vineyard is that Angelo say always to me, Lucio, this is a younger vineyard. Angelo always say to me, Lucio, now start the real job, because here I can only make disaster because the grapes are so fantastic. So I can only mistake. So in the end, the difference of the two wines is not really important, but for my personal taste, I do prefer 2017.
Okay, nice. So we're running out of time, but I think it's a good time for those who have to sign off. Thank you for joining us today. But for those who have a few extra moments, I believe you have your video queued up. I think that would be a good way to go out and just to show people an overview of the estates. And it's a beautifully produced video. It's also available on YouTube for those who want to look it up later. But Lucio, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and play that, and then we can wrap up after.
Okay. We are in Abruzzo region, on the hills of Pescara. Was born in 1793, when Villa Castorani was built, the symbol of our cellar today. We are located at an altitude of 350 meters above sea level in a truly unique landscape between the majestic mountains and the Adriatic Sea. Thanks to this element, our vineyards enjoy optimal climatic conditions for the cultivation of organic grapes. We mainly produce wines from our autochthon grapes, Montepulciano for the reds, Trebbiano and Pecorino for the whites. Our completely underground cellar guarantees our wines a constant natural temperature throughout the year. Our wines are the product of our passion, attention to details, constant dedication to work, and love for our land. Today, Castorani is the fusion between Italian winemaking traditions and the discovery of new technologies. But now, let's go to the cellar. Angelo is waiting for us.
Hi, my name is Angelo, winemaker and agronomist. I take care of the vineyards and the wines of Castorani. Our winery is totally underground, and one of its characters is the distinctive choice of working in cement. We found our Montepulciano aging so comfortable in cement that we could explore an old-style winemaking, getting wines naturally smooth and balanced, but at the same time saving a great texture and complexity. This room is a challenge. Dry Montepulciano grapes to produce a never-thought Abruzzo Appassimento wine. After many vintages, I can say we face something extraordinary, getting big satisfactions. Our barrel room is meant to be perfect for the wines and comfortable to work in. We choose to work only with 500 liters barrels because we believe this volume makes our wines expressing the best balance among wine primary flavors and oak flavors and taste. In our barrel room, we age white, rosé, and red wines. Controlling is often the best way to take care of our efforts. Our equipments allow us a deep scanning, and our entire production is controlled very often to avoid any problem. By the way, numbers are helpful, but we need to feel our wines with our senses. That's why our lab core is a tasting table, which allows me and my team to share tasting feelings and working ideas. From the pruning to the bottling, we follow our grapes becoming wines. And then we close them as messages in bottles to be shared all over the world. We always keep our bottled wine aging in our containers, in the best storage conditions up to the moment we label them. We handily fill our boxes, double-checking each bottle perfection. To keep safe our employees' bed and to keep the best boxes disposition in our pallets, we take advantage of a robotic technology so unused in wine industry, almost impossible to see in a family winery as ours. And now, Jarno is waiting for us.
Hello, I am Jarno. Many of you know me for my former sporting career, but now you will know me for my great passion for wine, which was passed on to me by my grandfather Gaetano, who I helped to produce family wine since I was a child. After becoming an F1 driver, I traveled through all the continents, but I never lost the strong link with my homeland, Abruzzo. The opportunity to take over the historic estate Castorani gave me the unexpected pleasure of becoming a wine producer in the same place where I had spent my childhood with my father and grandfather. More than 20 years have passed since that lucky day, and what was initially only an ambitious project has now become a reality where every day more than 20 families participate in the work behind the production of our wines. Today, Castorani is known and appreciated all over the world. Through my passions, I always pursued perfection, and I discovered that time, which was my enemy on track, is an ally in the cellar. With great pride, I introduce you to our wines. Each label represents a distinct project to offer our customers a different emotion. Podere Castorani 2000. Castorani was born with this wine, a label which today is our reserve, and it's a constant research for elegance. For this wine, we use our finest grapes from a single 50 years old vineyards. Podere Castorani Cadetto is our youngest line, aged only in cement. Amorino is a label dedicated to the eponymous traditional jewel of Abruzzo. A great ambassador of our winery all over the world, thanks to its classic profile, always contemporary. And finally, Jarno, the wine that will tell you about me and the passion that I have for wine born from drying process. Concentrated, elegant, unique. One of my best products.
Come and share this great gift of the nature with us and discover the magic which transforms grapes into wine. We are waiting for you.
Perfect.
So we are really waiting for you, and join us. We will be very happy to share with you our passion, our dedication to the job, and our true love to wine. And I can guarantee we will talk as well about Formula One.
I hope so. So again, Lucio, thank you so much for your time and that beautiful video.
So, David, thank you very much for this opportunity. A big thank you to Mr. Farello and all the Touton family of Touton Selection. And I really enjoy to share what Castorani is with all of you in the other side of the world. So
Absolutely.
enjoy the day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Ciao, Lucio. We'll talk again soon. Bye.